Did you know that Deadpool's iconic mask was born out of jealousy? Creator Rob Liefeld admitted, "The simplicity of the mask was my absolute jealousy over Spider-Man." This envy-fueled design choice would later become a key part in the MCU. Welcome, Hero Junkies. In this video, we will see how Deadpool first appeared in the comic world, failed over and over to make a real name for himself, and then unexpectedly became Marvel's most successful franchise. In 1991, Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza introduced Deadpool as a villain in the pages of New Mutants. While Deadpool would go on to become a beloved, wisecracking anti-hero, fans quickly noticed his striking resemblance to DC's Deathstroke. Created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez in 1980, Deathstroke, or Slade Wilson, was a skilled assassin with enhanced abilities, known for his tactical brilliance and cold demeanor. The similarities were obvious. Both were mercenaries, both had enhanced physical attributes, and their names were suspiciously close: Slade Wilson versus Wade Wilson. To differentiate Deadpool, Nicieza infused him with humor and yellow speech bubbles, giving him a sarcastic edge. Fans have debated for years about the overlap, with some embracing Deadpool's parody-like qualities, while others see him as a more comedic twist on Deathstroke's deadly seriousness. But something about this wisecracking mercenary struck a chord with readers, and soon he was popping up in other Marvel titles. The real magic, however, happened when Joe Kelly got his hands on the character in the late 1990s. Kelly saw potential in Deadpool that others had missed. He recognized that this formerly two-dimensional villain could be so much more. Under Kelly's pen, Deadpool began to break the fourth wall, addressing readers directly and showing an awareness of his fictional nature. This self-aware humor became Deadpool's trademark, setting him apart from the sea of gritty antiheroes flooding comic books at the time. But Kelly didn't stop there. He gave Deadpool a supporting cast, including characters like Blind Al and Ajax. These relationships added depth to the Merc with a Mouth, softening his mercenary persona and making him more relatable to comic junkies. Suddenly, Deadpool wasn't just a villain or even an anti-hero. He was a complex character with his own hopes, fears, and quirks. Other writers built on Kelly's foundation, each adding their own flavor to Deadpool's unique cocktail of humor and pathos. His unpredictable fighting style and satirical nature were emphasized, further distinguishing him from other characters in the Marvel Universe like Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. By the time Kelly left the series in 1999, Deadpool had transformed from a Deathstroke knockoff into a character that was truly one of a kind. This evolution was crucial to Deadpool's eventual mainstream success. Without Kelly's innovations and the contributions of subsequent writers, Deadpool might have remained a footnote in comic book history. Instead, he became a character beloved for his humor and complexity, paving the way for his leap to the big screen. Comic book successes don't usually translate to box office gold. For years, Deadpool teetered on the brink of cinematic oblivion. What unlikely series of events finally brought this unconventional anti-hero to theaters, and why did it take so long for Hollywood to embrace the Merc with a Mouth? Deadpool's journey from comic book pages to the silver screen was a roller coaster ride that would make even the most hardened mercenary queasy. Despite his growing popularity in the comics, Hollywood executives were wary of adapting such an unconventional character for mainstream audiences. After all, how do you market a wisecracking, fourth-wall-breaking anti-hero who's more likely to mock superhero tropes than embody them? Well, just like this.
This collar on. My superpower is just unbridled cancer. Me a bow and arrow, I'm basically Hawkeye.
But the frustration reached its peak in 2009 with X-Men Origins Wolverine, where fans were excited to see Deadpool's debut, only to be outraged when they witnessed a version of him with his mouth literally sewn shut. The Merc with a Mouth had been silenced, and fans were furious. It felt like Hollywood had completely misunderstood what made Deadpool special: his irreverent humor, his meta-commentary, and his endless quips. This betrayal of the character left fans feeling alienated, sparking a backlash so intense that it played a significant role in pushing for a true Deadpool film that would do justice for the character. His R-rated sensibilities clashed with the family-friendly approach that had become the norm for superhero movies. It seemed that Deadpool might be destined to remain a cult favorite, never to break into the mainstream. Until Ryan Reynolds took a look into the anti-hero. He admitted he didn't know who Deadpool was until watching X-Men Origins and finally reading his comics. He quickly realized the potential in the character that others had missed. In interviews, Ryan has mentioned how after reading the comics, he felt an immediate connection to Deadpool's irreverent humor, self-awareness, and chaotic energy. Reynolds knew he was made to play Deadpool.
I played a character in that movie that I guess resembles Wade Wilson in Deadpool, and a rival executive at another studio said, I saw a little piece of Blade and, you're Wade Wilson, you're Deadpool. And he said, trust me, if they ever make a movie about Deadpool, you're the only guy that can play Deadpool.
However, despite Reynolds' passion and star power, studios were still hesitant. Deadpool's R-rated, boundary-pushing humor and violent antics made it a risky bet in a genre that had typically catered to young audiences. They could never make him PG-13, and who would want to? Executives were unsure if mainstream audiences were ready for him. This reluctance left the project in limbo for years, with many fearing it wouldn't appeal to a wide enough audience. The turning point came in an unexpected form: leaked test footage. In 2014, a short clip featuring Reynolds as Deadpool hit the internet, showcasing the character's unique style and humor.
Hola! Me llamo Vecina de la Muerta. There's no easy way to say this. I'm pregnant, Trev.
The response from fans was overwhelming. Suddenly, the impossible seemed possible. The leak generated so much buzz that Fox,
Deadpool, star of the movies Deadpool.
Please, guys, no one stand up. It's CBS. I know how old your audience is.
which held the film rights to the character, could no longer ignore the demand for a Deadpool movie. The leaked footage was a game changer, demonstrating that there was indeed an audience hungry for Deadpool's brand of meta humor and action. It proved that the character's unconventional nature, far from being a liability, could be his greatest asset on the big screen. The footage showed Deadpool in all of his fourth wall breaking glory, cracking jokes, and dispatching bad guys with equal enthusiasm. With the unexpected fan response, Fox finally greenlit the project, but the challenges were far from over. As the cameras began to roll, Hollywood held its breath. After that stunt they pulled in X-Men Origins, who would have thought an R-rated superhero film would really work? The 2016 Deadpool film was a new beginning for the superhero genre. Unlike its PG-13 counterparts, this R-rated romp embraced the character's irreverent humor and violence, setting it apart from the crowd.
Uncanny X-Men 183, Thor 411, X-Men Unlimited 12. It is always. I don't mean right now.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
At the heart of this unconventional approach was Ryan Reynolds, whose performance as the Merc with a Mouth was nothing short of transformative. He took it to another level. Reynolds brought a unique blend of humor and depth to the character, capturing the essence of Deadpool from the comics. His portrayal was so spot on that it's hard to imagine anyone else in the role, but Reynolds' involvement went beyond just acting. He played a pivotal role in getting the movie made and ensuring it stayed true to character. As a producer, Reynolds fought hard to do things his way, pushing for an R rating, a lower budget, and the kind of creative control that most superhero films don't get.
Sort of like a Deadpool core creative collective that has managed this for the last 6 years, and that's Tim Miller, that's Rhett Reese, that's Paul Wernick, and me as well.
The freedom granted to the film's creative team meant embracing Deadpool's quirks, like his meta humor, crude language, and frequent fourth wall breaks, elements Hollywood usually shies away from in big-budget superhero films. This freedom also allowed the team to take risks, from the film's unconventional marketing campaign to its self-aware, irreverent tone, resulting in a movie that felt refreshingly different. Despite the concerns of some studio executives, Deadpool proved that there was indeed a market for R-rated superhero films. I mean, we should have known. Our audience would love a bad-mouthed superhero. The movie grossed over $780 million worldwide, making it one of the highest-grossing R-rated films of all time. The impact of Deadpool's success on the comic book movie landscape was profound. It opened the door for other R-rated superhero films, such as Joker, and showcased that there was room for different tones and approaches within the genre. Suddenly, characters and stories that might have been deemed too niche or adult for the big screen were being reconsidered. Deadpool's journey from a Spider-Man-inspired villain to a billion-dollar Marvel Jesus is nothing short of remarkable.
I am Marvel Jesus.
This unlikely success story reflects a broader trend in the entertainment industry. Characters from the 90s comic book era are finding new life in modern media, resonating with audiences in ways their creators could have never imagined. As Rob Liefeld noted, even before there was social media, we could see from the sales numbers and the letters that were coming in that fans were saying, hey, he's like Spider-Man with guns and swords. I dig it. Deadpool's rise serves as a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected characters can become the biggest hits. It leaves us wondering what other hidden gems might be waiting in the vast world of comic books, ready to capture the hearts of a new generation of fans. Like and subscribe for more character breakdowns.